parents and families. I'm Vicki Person, Parent Engagement Coordinator for Davidson Elementary School, and we want to welcome you to our second video for this school year. This month is a very special month. It's Fire Safety Month, so we have the pleasure of having Fire Chief Mark McGavick to talk to us about fire safety. After you've watched the video, we're going to do like we did last month. If you will like the video, share the video, and comment your child's homeroom teacher and grade, then your child will receive a free Scholastic book. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Fire Chief Mark McGavick.
It's my turn. October has traditionally been Fire Safety Month. And what the fire departments usually do is go around to the schools and show the students fire engines, talk about home fire safety, street safety, Halloween safety, all these different things that protect life and property. Unfortunately, in the days that we're in now, we have to do it live via video or YouTube or Zoom or however else we have our meetings. But it's still, no matter if we have a pandemic or not, we still have to have fire safety. And that starts at home. It starts with keeping a clean kitchen. It starts with keeping a clean house. It starts with being aware of all the exits in our house. Not playing with matches, which we don't really have matches anymore, but not playing with cigarette lighters, not playing with fire at all. Fire is not a toy. There's so many things in the house that parents can do to be fire wise. And one of those is when we cook, we turn all the handles in on the stove. Never leave a pot handle sticking out to where a child can grab the handle and dump the hot liquid on them. The other thing that parents can do is check the water temperature in the bathtub before they set a child in the bathtub. That stops children from burning. And the things that children can do is listen to grown-ups, listen to what they tell us, and know our ways in and out of the house. That's for more times than not, whenever we have a bad situation in the house and we find somebody in the house, is because they got scared and didn't know where to go. And so having a home fire safety plan and practicing that home fire safety plan, you can do it once or twice in a year. And those children will know, and all kids will know how to get out of the house if there's ever a problem. Having a meetup point, just like we do at school. If we have a fire alarm at school, we all have a meetup safety point, and that needs to be at the house on your home fire safety plan too. And the other thing is checking your smoke detectors. Smoke detectors have batteries that can be changed once a year, and we usually do that when we change the time. The newer smoke detectors are 10-year. And so those batteries don't work in anything else. Never take the battery out of a smoke detector, but they don't work on anything else. And in 10 years, you can take the smoke detector, throw it away, and put a new smoke detector up. So now if you're changing batteries every year, next year plan on buying a new smoke detector. And then you don't have to worry about it for 10 years. But one of the biggest things with smoke detectors, and we always like to show students when we go to the school, is what a smoke detector sounds like. Everybody tells their kids when the smoke detector goes off, we activate our plan, but they never sound the smoke detector. So when the smoke detector goes off, they don't know what that noise is and they get scared and panic. So always sound your smoke detector every time you practice your plan, and then when you hear that noise, we meet outside. Questions? Because you're going to edit, so I can do this if I need to.
I don't have any questions. Nicole, did you have any?
And that's fire safety in a nutshell.
That's fire safety in a nutshell. Okay, good deal.
Well, that was too easy. Come on, y'all ask me something tough. Stop recording. Stop recording.
Stop, drop, and roll. If there was a fire, I don't know. Do you
Stop,
still do
drop,
that?
and roll.
Do you still do that?
I can go over stop, drop, and roll.
Okay.
You're still recording. You never quit recording.
It was going to be edited.
Yeah. Okay, so now. Stop, drop, and roll. If your clothes catch on fire, the first thing we do is stop and don't run. Running makes the fire bigger. We stop, cover our face, lay down on the ground and roll, roll, roll. You roll until somebody stops you from rolling back and forth, back and forth. Don't roll down the hill, just roll back and forth and keep your face covered so your face doesn't get burned.
What about grease fires? What's the?
Horrible. It comes in with kitchen cleanliness. Most house fires start in the kitchen. And if it was just a pot of grease burning, it would set a lot of stuff on fire. But the problem is usually if we have a grease fire, there's more grease on the wall, more grease around the stove, and that just adds to the spread. But a grease fire, the easiest way to fix it is not to throw powder on it. Do not throw water on it. Just set the lid on top of the pot. Get out of the house, call 911. Nobody is asking anybody else to put a fire out. We'll come put the fire out, but the lid will slow the spread. And keeping a clean kitchen, your vent hood screens, keep those cleaned out, because the fire from the stove usually won't raise more than about 1.5 feet or 2 feet. But if it reaches other grease from cooking a lot, then that adds fuel to that fire. It makes the fire spread even greater and goes all the way up through your vent hood, and then we have real problems. But if you ever have a grease fire, just have the adult put the lid on the stove. If you're a child in the house, get out of the house and call 911. Don't worry about a fire extinguisher. Don't worry about anything else. Get out of the house. They make special fire extinguishers for grease fires. They're called a Class K fire extinguisher for liquid grease. But most residents don't have that. And as an adult, if you don't have that, you may or may not be able to put the fire out. So the best thing to do is just put a rag, put a lid, put something over that pot to lower the flame and get out of the house. Very simple. And then we'll call 911 and we'll be there.
Dryer vents.
Keep your dryer vents clean. Dryer vents are designed to be cleaned after every single use. Not once a week, not once a month, not when the clothes quit getting dry, after they've been in there for an hour and a half. Dryer vents are designed to be cleaned after every single use. If you do that, the odds of having a dryer fire are very minimal. Once a year, you should take the tube that goes from the back of the dryer to the outside of the house, take and clean it out. They're just 2 clips that you unclip, blow some air through it, or even just shake it to make sure there's no clogs up in it. Because that's a real good way to start a fire. Mm-hmm. That lint is really fine and it will light very easily.
The holidays coming up?
Christmas trees.
Yes.
Christmas trees. A live tree needs to be put in water, and the water needs to be filled daily. Just like the dryer vent, not when the needles turn brown, but we add water to it every day. Some people talk about putting different liquids in there. Go with the manufacturer, go with a reputable company that says if you should put sugar. I don't know about all those things. But I know if you don't have water in there, the tree is going to dry. No, use only designed lights for Christmas trees. In Germany, they like to hang candles from their trees, live lit candles. That's not a practice that we're going to do in the United States if we can get away from it. We'll stick with the approved lighting from the store, and we're not going to leave them burning all night long. When you get through looking at the tree, take your pictures. When you're in the room, you can have it lit up, but unplug it before you go to bed. Don't plug them into an extension cord. Extension cords are never good. Use only an approved wall outlet, and you can plug the strips of light into their self, but don't plug those into an extension cord. They aren't designed for that constant use that's on a tree. But again, having a good safety plan at home makes you think of all the little safety things that you can do throughout the year. So we went from Christmas and we go to Easter, or we go to another holiday where we do a lot of decorating. We'll remember our safety tips from Christmas to apply for those. There's going to be a lot of cooking at this time of year. I mean, it's just nonstop for the next 3 months we're eating. and that's really good. But keeping a clean work environment in the kitchen and just being, I call it pot wise, be aware of the handles on the stove because there's so many people in the kitchen that, and it's the odds of somebody getting burnt from a boiling liquid on the stove are just crazy numbers higher than somebody being in a house fire. It's just, and you know, we don't ever talk about those kids that are getting burnt. And it's horrible. But if you ever have a problem, call 911 and we'll be there. If you want a home safety plan, we'll come and do your home safety plan. We'll put your house, we'll draw it out and show you all your exits and show you if there's a fire in X, we show you where to go. If there's a fire here, we show you where to go. Rope ladders for second stories. For people with 2-story houses, having a rope ladder in the bedroom. We go through all that with the family and we'll help you make a plan.
That's awesome.
All they gotta do is say the word.
Yeah.
She's waiting for me to flex, and I might just a little bit. But I got a cramp.
How often do you keep the, like if you have a fire extinguisher in the house, how often do you keep those? Like I know we have 2 of them and we haven't had to use them, but I never look at, they've been there so long, I never look at them, so.
As long as the needle's in the green, it's good.
Okay.
The problem with the fire extinguisher is once I check to see if it's still got pressure in it, it's not gonna be in green anymore and I'm gonna have to get it recharged or buy a new one. But pretty much as long as if you have one from the store that's never been used, you can shake it and you feel the powder still in it, then it's a good extinguisher.
Okay.
I'm sure the manufacturer, just like our turnouts, I'm sure the manufacturer says in 10 years it's no good anymore and I have to buy new turnouts. But my turnouts are still good. I can still wear them, but the company is not going to warranty it or do whatever. But if it's between you and getting out of the house and you look at the extinguisher and it says expired 2020, I'm not going to throw it down and say this one's no good. I'm going to use it and get out of the house. And if it doesn't work, I'm still getting out of the house. But as long as that needle's in the green, then you'll see it'll be red, and then green in the middle. The arrow should be standing straight up. And if it is, it's got pressure in it. You should be able to get out of the house. That's all a fire extinguisher's for, is to get you out of the house. You're never gonna, if you put the fire out, you're still gonna call us. So just get out of the house and call us and we'll get there and put the fire out. Put the lid on the thing, it'll save the kitchen.
Carbon monoxide, is that the same as like
Smoke detector.
the smoke detector? I mean, you still test that, I know I do, I test it.
Well, everybody
But do you
does it
change that
because you have and I'm not trying to interrupt you, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Because you have a smoke detector doesn't mean you have a CO2 detector. So just, if you live in a place that has gas appliances, then you must, I'm saying must as far as an adult saying we need to have this in the house. There's no law that says you have to have it. Now, I think if you rent or live in assisted living, they have to give you that, they have to install that there, the property owner. But as far as just a normal resident, you don't have to have a CO2 detector. And a lot of people think because I have a smoke detector, I have a CO2 detector, and you don't. They can be in the same machine or they can be separate. But yes, you gotta test it, and that's where we run into people don't know what that noise is because it doesn't sound like my smoke detector. They're completely different audible sounds coming from that same smoke detector. And they're like, well, it's not the smoke detector going off. Usually it's because if you have a wall heater or a gas furnace, it's because it's dirty and it's putting off some CO2 and it'll make that alarm go off. And you can call us, but the people that need to be there are the gas people. We'll call and come check the air quality, but there's nothing, as far as getting you out of the house, there's nothing we can really do. It's shut your gas off. But they need a gas person, and one of the key signs is that I have a great day at work or I have a great day at school, but then when I get home, and again, this is in the wintertime mostly, but I come home and it's like, oh, my head hurts so bad. That's usually the first sign You come into the house where you're supposed to relax and you kick back and it's like, oh, I got a headache. That's usually the first sign of, I should have bought a carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide detector. If you don't have one, it's never gonna sound. 100% of what you don't have will never work for you. So you need, if you have gas in your house, you should have a CO2 detector. And hopefully soon that we can get on, I'm working with the Red Cross and I'm working with MEMA, I'm working with different places, trying to get a smoke detector program going to where we can go to all the houses in the city and install a smoke CO2 detector. It's
Great.
But that still doesn't stop either one of y'all from going to Walmart and saying, I need a smoke detector for my protection and getting one. But hopefully we'll have that by next year. We'll be able to go around and do smoke detector program.
Great.
Oh, there's the Panavision.
Thank you so much, Chief McGavick.
Thank you.
All this information was very helpful. Don't forget, we want you to like this video, share this video, and comment your child's homeroom teacher and grade. This was very helpful information. So stay tuned to our video for next month. We'll make sure we post this soon. Thank you. She'll edit.